Hi Pisces. So this is the first Pisces reading for the channel. I think I'm always looking a little bit different for each of the videos, which is just to show that as I have in one of the about sections of the videos, I recently heard on a sermon about contemplative spirituality. If you believe or think or feel like you're a person of the spirit, then you should wear a patchwork coat. To show people kind of what's on the inside, or you should go naked, just to show everybody that you're playing and joking around. I think that spirituality is highly tied, probably most specifically, really to all the signs, of course, but most specifically to Neptune, which is ruled by Pisces, and it's really to do with imagination and the boundaries between reality and unreality, and dreams and delusions and delusions. So the high vibe and low vibe of spirituality. What I really love about the amethyst, which a lot of people use to kind of clean the energy of the tarot cards, is that it's to protect against spiritual drunkenness. So essentially it's important to be tied to some sort of spiritual sense, and that does not have to be a religion necessarily, but it can be for some people. But spirituality and religion are different, and maybe we'll get into those talks later on. But you also don't want to kind of get lost in the boundary between what's real and what's not real, because I really do believe that spirituality is what happens kind of in the whole universe, but also here on earth, and between humans, and the real world of the things we do is also that spirituality. Please. Good boy. So this is reading for Pisces. So let's get into this. So this is, it's a nighttime reading. So I love this light. Actually, I've never done it where the lighting is mostly just coming from this multicolored bulb that I got. And purple is, amethyst related to Pisces. Amethyst is related to a few different signs, but especially Pisces. So important that we dream and have imagination and think about what's beyond our everyday, but also kind of make sure that we stay here so that we can actually do the work to get that done. So let's do a Celtic cross for Pisces. Let's see what's going on for Pisces. I'm just going to do a little clearing. Nighttime. Some energy for Pisces. And happy new moon. So go 1, 2, 3. The cards aren't wanting to pop out as much for this new moon. The new moon is when you don't really see the moon at all, because it's obscured. The light from the sun isn't shining on it because the earth is kind of right in the way between the earth and the moon. I really like new moons. People mostly know about and talk about full moons, but I really love the energy of new moons, especially of all the moons, all the phases. The new moon means something fresh is coming in. So Pisces, what you have right now is the 8 in the present, is the present energy is the 8 of Wands in the reverse. So this is kind of feeling a little bit slowed down. Pisces is the mutable, ever-changing water. This is sort of an energy of feeling not necessarily moving forward fast with communication. Maybe there's a passionate energy that is feeling sort of delayed for you right now. The challenge right now is the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. So maybe kind of have been being hasty about the way that you gather your resources, having kind of scattered energy around the way that you are accumulating abundance in your life, whether that's in your career, in your finances, in your resources, and so feeling maybe a little bit delayed in kind of getting the sort of abundance, what you consider to be abundance in your life. So feeling a little bit delayed kind of as a challenge, and that's showing up in your present energy, maybe specifically related to resources of various kinds, and even relationships can be resources, but possibly related to earthy kind of stable kinds of energy, which can absolutely be relationships, but also money, your skills, and other kinds of resources as well. In the past, you had the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So in the recent past, again, kind of feeling this like misdirected energy, kind of working on personal skill development, but not necessarily feeling like you are moving forward with the kind of personal skill development that you would have wanted, that's showing up more in like the public world. So working on personal skill development, and feeling like you're, whatever you have been working on, especially maybe related again to these coins, to whatever you consider to be abundance, could be relationships, could be career, could be money, has been sort of misdirected, not necessarily going in the way you'd planned. And now you're also feeling this, Eight of Wands, that's an 8 too, yeah, 8 again, the Eight of Wands energy in the reverse, kind of feeling delayed. But in the future, what you have coming up is the King of Swords, and the King of Swords, that's air energy. So about intellect, communication, truth. So this is kind of moving forward in the future with a confident sense of kind of what is true, being able to communicate your ideas clearly, being able to communicate that to others, and so a really strong energy with kind of how you are, how you're starting to communicate, or how you're starting to build new ideas with the King of Swords there. Not bright. So you've been feeling kind of slowed down, but moving into this energy of feeling more confident about the way that you communicate your ideas, and I think that's the biggest energy I would say there. You have a lot of major arcana cards here. At least these two in the above and the below energy, and I really love these. This has been happening for a couple different readings, the above and the below energy, like truly like mirroring each other. So in the upright, and then in the reverse for the conscious energy and the subconscious energy. In the conscious energy, what's above, what you might be showing other people, what you might be consciously aware of, is the Hanged Man, which is a major arcana card. So going through something sort of major for your life cycle at this point, maybe starting to see things with new perspectives, kind of looking like you're waiting on the surface, interesting, that you're waiting on kind of the surface of things, but you're developing new perspectives, and like starting to kind of let things go, working to really let things go in a way that's, again, like so-called, possibly divinely guided by the universe. So looking for new perspectives. So that's what it looks like is kind of happening on the surface of things. But then when we go to the subconscious energy, what's below, what's happening more internally for you that people might not know about, you might not even know about necessarily, is a Temperance card in reverse, which is kind of having a difficulty with balancing. Having difficulty with balancing and feeling possibly like constricted by that energy. But the Temperance card is the Sagittarius card associated with Jupiter, which is associated with expansion and optimism, and growth. And so this is interesting that it's in the reverse in the bottom, because I think Pisces all signs can have trouble with balance around different things, but because Pisces, any major Pisces placements can be so closely tied to that like border area between kind of like the spiritual world and kind of the real tangible world, it can be hard to kind of strike that balance. I think sometimes it can be hard for Pisces to know what's real versus what's not real, because they're letting so many possibilities into their head, and that can kind of throw you off balance a little bit, which is again what this kind of amethyst ideas about, like avoiding spiritual drunkenness, at least when it comes to like the spirituality and stuff, but having some sort of trouble with balancing something. And so that kind of makes sense with what the energy that you have here, kind of feeling delayed, especially with this, Eight of Wands in the reverse, which is, represents the fire energy. Temperance card with Sagittarius is also the fire energy. So feeling kind of like slowed down and having some trouble finding balance here. Your advice right now is the Page of Wands. So moving forward with passionate energy in sort of like a youthful and hopeful way. This is nice to see that even though you're feeling kind of delayed around like some sort of communication or some sort of passionate activity. You're having trouble kind of seeking that balance in the fire energy. Your advice is to kind of keep moving with the fire energy. And if you're not feeling like you are, if you feel like you have to start like closer to the beginning with that form of energy so that you can move forward like with passion and inspiration, then do that. Use that more youthful energy, because this is still an energy very much supported by the universe, not as mature as like the Knight or the King of Wands, but if that's not where you are on the journey, it's just not where you are, and it's not where you should be either, because this is where you should be because it's where you are. And so kind of continuing to move forward, and maybe if you have to go back to the basics a little bit with drawing that passion into a project or into maybe your work life, it looks like that could be what you're looking into, then that's it's okay to kind of go back a little bit more to the basics and still have that youthful energy working on your passions. The energy surrounding you right now is the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, which is interesting because you have these other Pentacles in the reverse as well. So this is kind of like the energy surrounding you might be like some sort of opportunity feels like it was lost to you, or it could potentially be lost, but this is kind of what you're feeling right now, that some sort of opportunity to build resources or a career, or whatever means abundance to you, but often again related to more like skill development, resources, skill development, money, career. It feels like sort of there's an opportunity that's been lost, and maybe that's why your challenge right now is that Knight of Pentacles, feeling like you've been kind of like brashly, kind of haphazardly working around like your career sort of issues, and again that Biggie, nobody. The Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, in the recent past too, kind of feeling that misdirected energy. So maybe something is going on with your career or your finances or something. Your fear right now is the Nine of Wands in the reverse. So more wands in the reverse from the 8 in your present energy to your fear, which is the Nine of Wands, which is kind of like feeling maybe like overwhelmed about like the burden that you're carrying, like you're standing up against a challenge but feeling like a little bit overwhelmed by it, and that definitely makes sense given some of the other cards that I'm seeing. So just kind of feeling overwhelmed right now around possibly your ideas of passion as it relates to whatever means abundance for you. No, whatever means abundance for you, but feeling kind of overwhelmed right now is your fear. Possibly also your current energy. The outcome for what's going on right now, though, if like nothing were to change and like you weren't to like realize something from this reading that resonates for you and try to like think of things or do things a little bit differently, the current outcome is the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is again more Pentacles in the reverse, but the Five of Pentacles in the reverse can kind of be like coming out of a feeling that you are left out in the cold. So these people are kind of walking by a church that's lit up from the inside, and they're cold, but at least they're kind of like together, and there is the light of the church shining on them, but kind of feeling like they are still out in the cold by themselves, even if someone was watching. And this is can be a card of like releasing or kind of getting over or learning a new perspective, which is this above energy with the the Hanged Man with new perspectives, feeling like maybe you can go into the church, whether or not that's really a religious or spiritual thing or something else. You can go into the church, you do have that friend walking with you, you do have that warm light shining on you, and starting to develop maybe this new perspective that you do kind of have that divine or social kind of support that is with you, so you don't have to feel left out in the cold, even if that's what you're currently experiencing right now, like realizing that you're not truly there. So it looks like there's some stress here for sure, but it looks like you are really like using this new moon energy maybe to find new ideas of kind of what feels what is going to bring you meaning, which is finding a new perspective for how to communicate in a mature way with people, and yeah, how to communicate sort of like in a mature, directed way, and letting go of new things and realizing that like you're really not alone in this journey. So I'm gonna pull some tea leaf cards. Please, please, please. Boy, please. Are there any tea leaf cards for Pisces? I think that's too much, but I'll take 1, 2. So the one that just popped out really on its own, and then just decided to pull 2 more from what came out. Recognition and reward for merit. So it looks like you're going to possibly get some sort of recognition. And you're obviously, you've been trying to really put in this energy, that you have this passion, you've been working on your abundance, whatever means abundance for you. And it looks like you will get some kind of recognition or reward for the work that you're doing. Torch, spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So a lot of that fire energy, and especially that torch with the outcome being the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. Being that 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, which is really realizing that like you do have kind of that light from the church, or the divine energy, however you'd like to see it, shining on you, and you're not alone, and you are walking with somebody else, and you can go into that church or whatever the church could mean for you. So spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So really looking for this new perspective, so that maybe you can figure out how to get to this more balanced energy and communicate in a way that feels more satisfying and more productive for you. And realizing that, even if an opportunity has been lost, nothing is ever like too late entirely. Like maybe you just have to find like a new perspective on what's going on. And what's beautiful is that this the Hanged Man is card number 12, which is Pisces is the 12th sign. So it looks like you're finding new perspectives about how to deal with your life. And then we have November. So it could mean that sometime in November there's going to be some kind of a shift for you. I'm going to pull some color cards. Prism cards. Can we get 3 prism cards for Pisces? 3 prism cards for Pisces. 3 prism cards for Pisces. Just 3? 1, 2, 3. So abundance, surrender, and happiness. Okay. And rejection. So these ones are stuck together, but sometimes as you're working through the decks, that can happen. So abundance, surrender, rejection, and happiness. I don't know, you probably can't see those super well. So abundance, I definitely see a lot of pentacle energy here. So you've been working on what means abundance for you. So even though you're not feeling like it's going 100%, exactly how you wanted it to, maybe you're just going to develop like a new perspective of like what is versus how you think it should be, and that can be an important kind of journey to go through. While this card depicts coins, it's important to remember that abundance can come in many forms, like love, friendship, career, and family, like we were talking about. Not just monetary abundance. This card asks you to recognize and celebrate the abundance that is in your life, along with the deep sense of gratitude that comes along with it. So so you've really been working on feeling like you're not necessarily getting that abundance that you've been looking for, and I was getting like a pretty strong feel here that's kind of about money, career, or something. But again, there are so many different kinds of forms of abundance. So just because you feel kind of one way about something doesn't mean that that's the only way that it is. Maybe you have much more abundance than other people do in some other realm. Or, just what is meaningful for you more than that you have, more of it. It's not really the point. So first I'll do, the one that doesn't seem as positive, but rejection. So this is, kind of related to that outcome card, the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, feeling like you're coming out from being in the cold. Rejection. And, Pisces can be very, very sensitive to rejection, and the water signs in general, but Pisces, especially maybe. Try to reframe the pain of rejection and consider that whatever rejected you wasn't meant to be a part of your life at this time, whether it be a person, job, or something else. Some even say that rejection is protection. So even though it may really hurt right now, know that something better is waiting for you. Trust that whatever is meant for you is on its way. So I think this 5 of Pentacles in the reverse can kind of be about like trusting and realizing you're not alone, even if you don't understand really what that means fully for you right now. But rejection, if there was some sort of rejection around a job or around a feeling of what you thought abundance should be, and like that feels like a rejection, to have that not be the answer that you had sought it to be, and then therefore kind of having this trouble with like balancing reality versus non-reality, realizing that like if you don't have something right now, then it wasn't kind of meant to be on your journey right now, and that's okay. So maybe that has to do with kind of realizing that you're not alone out there in the cold, and developing this new perspective and moving forward with this like more mature idea about how to like communicate your ideas and move forward with things in like a really pragmatic, in a kind of pragmatic way, honest way. And then after that we get happiness. So rejection to happiness. Pisces and Gemini are both about duality, but Pisces is duality as well. So you got rejection, but then you get happiness. And really Pisces, the high vibe of Pisces really is about happiness and compassion and a tremendous amount of love. And so happiness is one of the most beautiful feelings, as if the world is shimmering around you. And that's what it feels like to be around a Pisces who's feeling like they're strong in their energy at the time. But we seldom acknowledge when we're feeling good, and instead focus on when we're feeling bad. So take this time to cherish your happiness, really experience it, and feel its warmth. So again, that's, we got the torch here. Feel its warmth with the spiritual awareness, feeling the warmth, finally feeling the warmth of the lights coming out of the church. And then you have a lot of like fire energy here, even if some of it is in the reverse and you're feeling slowed down about it. You do have that fire energy as part of what you're working with, and your advice is really to move forward with fire energy, and like a youthful fire energy at that. So like a spark. And then we have surrender, which can be, it's often easier said than done, but important. Maybe one of the prime things that we can kind of do for ourselves to like just keep it moving sometimes. By ceasing to resist, you can create peace for yourself. And peace, again, it can be very much associated with Pisces. When Pisces are feeling strong in their energy, the act can be uncomfortable at first because it hurts the ego. But when we surrender and let go, we free the parts of ourselves that worked so hard to fight. Now that you are free, what can you do? What new pathways can you go down? And it looks like, again, new perspective, new pathways, realizing that you're not alone out there in the cold. Even though you're feeling overwhelmed by what feels like a loss of an opportunity around maybe something to do with your career or money or how you define abundance, the future has it that the future card here is showing that you're kind of moving forward with like a new energy, and really a new energy around how you communicate. And I don't see the swords in any other place here. So it looks like you've really been working with like a lot of fire, earth energy, but maybe bringing some of this air, more intellectual energy into what you're doing moving forward will be helpful to help you kind of like communicate and get your thoughts clear, which can be hard for Pisces, again, when you're at that boundary kind of what reality and unreality is, and being very close to that spiritual world. So a reminder to surrender here can be important for Pisces. Okay, so let's get a Rumi card for Pisces. Rumi card, whatever I see first for Pisces, to help frame this reading. Rumi card for Pisces, please, to help frame the reading. Cosmic Heart. Lovely. Again, that border of kind of like the spirit world. I don't know if I've ever seen this one before, but let's see what we got. It's nice. Cosmic Heart sounds very much like Pisces, very highly compassionate, nurturing water energy. I was dead, I became alive. I was tears, I became laughter. The power of love arrived and made me everlasting power. I've seen everything, I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion, I shine like Venus. Beautiful. I hear it and weep in sublime reverence. I bow to this living, beating, loving heart of the universe. It echoes throughout all of creation. Once, some time ago, I was deaf. I had not heard one true sound, much noise, but no truth. Interesting with that, King of Pentacles, King of Swords in the future. Much noise, but no truth. And that can happen when you're at the border of kind of the spiritual world and kind of the more, natural world. It sometimes can become noise. So much noise, but no truth. So I believed in many things not worth believing in. Then in a moment of my crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me more powerful than those temporary ailments. That gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life. I heard it, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Compassionate universal love is Pisces. Now I know that belief in unworthy things like fear and doubt is lunacy. Lunacy is also a little bit of Pisces too, being at that border world. It really can be anyone, but Pisces is also associated kind of specifically with institutions, including mental health hospitals and things like that. Even my loneliness became unconvincing to me, and that shows this loneliness is not convincing, coming out of the cold there and realizing you're not alone. We are animated by this living heartbeat, part of life that is sustained by it. You and I, the planets, the birds, and the fishes Pisces, emerge from the great source because of this beating heart of the universe. It pumps life through our veins. What proof of this is needed? You live, that is the proof. I hear it everywhere now. It has become so loud, louder than any word of fear. It resonates through my soul and eclipses any tremor of anxiety. That's lovely because the moon card in Tarot is about fear and anxiety, and that's associated with Pisces. So this is saying, the awe of the universe really eclipses any fear that you can have. This oracle comes with guidance for you. More love is rushing towards you like a great cosmic tsunami. Pisces is the ocean. You will struggle with the blessing to the extent that you'll attempt to hold on to what has been. So don't let go. Let it move you. Let go. That's this above energy with the Hanged Man. Let go, let it move you. Water energy, the ocean. Pisces right now is Cancer season, which is the cardinal birthing sign and season of the water signs. You'll perhaps get some water up your nose, but nothing will come to you that you cannot handle. You'll be disheveled somewhat, undoubtedly, yet as you are washed up upon love's shining shore, keeping every hair in place will be the last thing on your mind. You'll be too caught up in the wonder of perfection, realizing how deeply loved you are. Pisces are deeply loved, and how unnecessary it is to contrive a way to live your purpose. Unnecessary it is to contrive a way to live your purpose. Interesting. So maybe these pentacles, like this abundance that feels like it's not coming through because maybe that's not the path. Instead, you'll have no idea what is going on. That boundary world. You'll be surrendered in passionate embrace with life, all this fire energy, with life simply being your exquisite, crazy, unique self, saturated with divine love. It will drip from you out of your feet, Pisces, your eyes, your voice, your touch. You'll water the earth with love's oceanic presence, Pisces. Oh, how that tsunami will deliver you into your divine destiny. No need for any contrivance. Let your hair get messed up. Your destiny awaits you now. So maybe you've been planning around this pentacle stuff and this career stuff, but sometimes Pisces, I think, are meant to kind of go with the wind and go with the flow and go with the ocean. And that doesn't mean that you don't discern truth. That's why the future, I don't know if that's why, but in the future, it shows kind of getting more clear about developing more clarity, mature clarity around what's going on. But also allow yourself to be swept. Maybe this thing that you've been working on, this feeling you really need to focus on this one kind of abundance. Maybe that's not the only answer, and maybe just allow yourself to get caught up in the ocean of things a little bit more. That doesn't mean lose your feet about it, but allow yourself to develop a new perspective about what abundance might mean for you. So thank you for coming to your first reading, Pisces, and hope you guys have a good one. Bye.